Hi, so today I'm here with Leo and Costanza. If you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves real quick.
Yeah, I'll go. I'm Leonard. I'm the founder of Watoto Coding Hub. At Coding Hub, we teach kids in the slums of Nairobi 21st century skills. Basically, we are starting with we are doing coding, we do game design, and we do 3D printing using Tinkercad. Um, yeah, this was started in 2020. We've made a lot of great moves. We are a registered non-profit. Uh, yeah, basically that's what we've done till now. Yeah.
Yeah, hi, I'm Costanza. Actually, I joined Leo later. Actually, I joined him because I listened to a podcast on the Coder Kids podcast, and he was talking about what he was doing, right? And I thought, no, I need to contact this guy. What he's doing is amazing. I need to help him out with the curriculum and all of that. Actually, at first, I wanted to help him out, but then I realized I'm the one also who needs help with other stuff, like practical, pragmatic thinking. To be honest, he helped me with that too because at first I have to say from my own world of privilege, sort of privilege, I was thinking, oh, let's do some metaverse creation on Roblox. And then he told me, hold on, like these kids only have old Amazon tablets, they barely have internet. What are you thinking? And so I wanted to help him, but I think he helped me too to, be more down to earth and be realistic.
Sure, that makes sense. So I guess the biggest issue that you have in Kenya is lack of internet.
Yeah, it's a very big issue because we operate in one of the biggest slum in the world. It's Kibera. It's one of the biggest unplanned settlement in the world. So unplanned meaning Kibera has not been recognized with the government. The government claims that Kibera is a government land which is not planned. So there's no infrastructure that has been allocated in the slums because you realize back here you'll find where there are electricity poles, the internet companies use that to transport the internet. So in Kibera we do have electricity poles. In Kibera we do have like a water system. What do we call it? A sewer system and a water system. So those are the limitations. So you find most of these companies they depend on other people to to be able to invest in settlements that are allowed with the government. So you find in Kibera it's divided with a Kenya Uganda railway. So you find Kibera is on the other side of the railway. So you'll find the other side of the railway there are no infrastructure. So you find the internet providers have never installed proper internet connection within the slum. So it's either as an organization we have like a MiFi, the mobile Wi-Fi that is portable, or you buy data on your phone. Maybe you buy like 600 MB, or you buy monthly 1 GB or a 1 hour 1 GB at a cost, and then you tether to the other tablet, which won't even take like 20 minutes. So that's one of the biggest problem in the slums. Another problem is electricity, which I've always, Constanza is always laughing at me, telling him electricity that we use in the slum, 99% of it is illegal. Yeah, because we have to survive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
it's totally illegal. I was talking about in the previous podcast where the illegal electricity has caused a lot of fire accidents in the slums, which I was also ambitious, as Constanza is saying. I've always wanted to create a situation where fire can be put off in the slums, even without the good road networks. So you find when the fire breaks out, kids even lose lives because the rescue is very slow. There are no road networks in the slums. There's congestion. If you've checked on YouTube or if you Googled Kibera, you've seen there's a lot of congestion. So the fire breaks out in the middle of the slum. The fire extinguishers come, but they can't access the slum. So I've thought of under Watoto Coding, maybe in future we could even have drones that can pass the water pumps to the slum and we save lives. So those are some of the things that is affecting our learning in the slum. But with the right funding, with the right connections, we can always have like a setup in the slum. My dream is not to run away from the slum. I don't like to get the easier way out of the slum. As an organization, we can get millions of funding. We can move to a place where there's good infrastructure. But my dream is just to be within the slum and then create like a community a community hub. Besides coding, we can be like a link. We can be a place where people come to access internet. We can be a place where students come to do their projects. We can be a center where an excellence center where women can come and get empowerment and all that. So that's one of the challenges that is limiting us. Electricity and internet, they go together. Without one of them, we can't move. So that's the ambition. Yeah.
Yeah, you see why I was impressed when I first listened to the podcast where I got to know his nonprofit and decided to volunteer and help? Because all these problems, and they are still coding. I'm in Italy, by the way, so I got a lot of problems, don't get me wrong, but the internet is not one of them. And neither is electricity.
Yeah.
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 th-
Okay, go.
Go ahead. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I definitely would say internet isn't an issue here. Neither is electricity. So it's crazy that you have to. I mean, you basically have to quote unquote borrow electricity.
Exactly.
So I guess none of the electricity you guys have um, is official. Is that right? Am I
Yeah,
understanding that right?
in the slum it's unofficial. There's a time that we stayed
Unofficial.
out of class for a month because the center that we are using stole electricity. Yeah, that's the truth, man. That's what we are going through, the kids. In fact, the officers came and the kids were in the class, and we were just whisked out. A few were arrested, like manager, and I told Consta we're having issues here. She was so worried. She was worried. Yeah,
Yeah, can I just make sure though that the listeners know that the nonprofit is legally registered as a nonprofit and there's a child
exactly.
protection policies and all the photos posted on the social media are posted with parent consent. So just to make sure, right? That the listeners
Sure.
know that
Exactly.
though. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
so
exactly. To add on that, we currently we have 30 kids that visits our classroom. We shifted from the place that we were using before. Now we are hosted in a church, in a Catholic church that has given us like an open arms. We received us with an open arm. So like we have to pay for the monthly rental of the center. All the kids, the parents have consented. They have agreed that the kids have to learn because Kibera is one of the places that a parent is always happy when they know that their kids are in a safer place. Nothing gives them a lot of joy than knowing that my child is from school on Saturday, she's from tuition from at 1, she comes for lunch, and then from 2 p.m. to 4, she's learning coding. Yeah, they are so happy, and they always call me today, Chicha, are you not coming? I'll be coming. Just tell the kids I'll be coming at this time, and they'll all be available there. The younger ones are getting picked by their parents, and they're so encouraging. They always call me, they're telling me it's never easy. If you start something, it starts small, but in future, with consistency, people might come through and listen to you and help you get the technology that you need to learn. So it's been a challenge. I've been told to learn from the challenges. Yeah, yeah, not to give up because you've been challenged once or
yeah,
twice.
I think
It's all safe. It's all safe back in Islam. All we need is technology and assistance and prayers. Yeah,
no,
I
sorry, Leonard. I was actually about to emphasize what you were saying. I think
yeah, exactly.
what Leonard
Go.
is saying is that he's not just teaching coding to kids. Any coding camp for a kid can do that. He's creating a community. He's doing it for free because he believes in that. I'm doing all the
Exactly.
promotion of his activities for free because I believe in that. So it's more than just teaching kids how to code, just so that people really get that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, that's I was gonna say, like, the fact that the parents, I mean, they basically, obviously, they trust you, to take care of their kids, and they know that their kids are going to be safe,
Yeah,
safe
exactly.
where they're
Yeah.
at. Um, what I'm trying to think, because you're in an area where there's no infrastructure. So
Yeah.
with internet, you have to get internet and things like that. I think the maybe the biggest help for you is would be doing something where it wouldn't require either it wouldn't require very much internet, or it wouldn't require, um, I guess, much in the way of power. Although you'd have to have power to charge devices and things like that. Um, what are some of the things you guys have thought about to help facilitate this program?
Actually, I
Uh,
thought about them. Leonard is implementing them though. So I think I think he's doing the harder job. But can I take
That's
this
fair.
occasion, please, to mention Sam Taylor, the author of a book, which is basically HTML, CSS coding workbook that where kids literally color and write, and they learn HTML and CSS. Programming languages, if we want to call them that way. And then Leonard had another idea about Constructopedia he can now talk about, right?
yeah, yeah. We basically we would love to do more of unplugged activities. Um, but at the same time, we have a curriculum that a lot of data, a lot of information there, a lot of learning resources there requires internet, requires like you be sent to a link just to see how something is done. So we need both of that, which with so when there's no power, we can jump into like a unflagged program so that our learning keeps going on. So Constructopedia is a STEM-based learning which teaches kids engineering, the lever, the pulley, and all that. And then it also teaches critical thinking, problem solving, and creative thinking ideas to the kids, which is really needed. If anybody who has done coding, we learn block coding. That takes us at some point, the kids will start learning like other languages like Python. That is when they get to 16 or 14 or 15 years. Yeah, so Constructopedia is just preparing them to be critical thinkers because there's a lot of connection of engineering with coding. The languages, you look at it, it's mathematics, it's science, and it's all that. So that is what I've been thinking of, like an interconnection of skills that at the end of the day they'll meet at some point. Yeah, just to build like a whole child, a creative child, a child who can think and see this is what I can do to create a solution. I'm living in the slums. What can I do with Arduino to create a solution in the slums? What can I do with an HTML language? I can create a website. I can create a blog for the community and all that. So we need internet. We need unplugged programs. We need Lego. We need robots. Yeah, it's quite a big dream. It's quite ambitious. Yeah, just from the if you look at the slum. So just to look to talk about the electricity part and internet. Electricity can be we can get electricity in the slum. Those are the reasons those are the reasons why we needed to register as a non-profit, so that we can have like we are registered and then we can go to the government and bargain. We can say now We are a registered CBO. We are doing something for the kids for free. We have a setup in the slum. We've bought like 3 mud houses and did repairs. So we need government just come through, secure this space for us, and then give us a letter so that we can get electricity to the slum. This is a school, this is a learning center, this is a resource center. So those are the ways that we can get some resources to the community, which will only happen through a non-profit like Watoto Coding Hub. Yeah.
Um,
So
yeah, okay, the
yes, please.
government or you guys can donate. There's that option
Yeah.
too. so,
So
so
once we have donations and then we get the center running, the government always wants proof. What are you already doing? Yeah. So once when we get funding, we build, we get a space, we get resources, we get technology. Now we can go to the government and tell them this is what we are doing. Well wishers have helped us reach here. They
yeah,
play their part. Yeah.
yeah, again, guys, let me state this again. You will not contributing to just some kids learning to code. Will be contributing to the creation of an amazing tech learning community. And if you are a parent, I mean, Lara was talking about it, right? How would you feel if your kids were unsafe in a slum with nothing to learn? Like, so wouldn't you want your kids to be in a safe and stimulating learning space, wouldn't you? So, yeah, that's one more reason to donate, I guess. Or to get in touch with us and see how you can help us out. Even not financially, even if you want to volunteer, even if you want to be like me, being here, promoting the nonprofit. Yeah, just think about it. Oh, by the way, Andrew, I never asked how you started, actually, if you don't mind me asking, how you started coding.
Yeah, I started in 2016. I think it was 2016. It was after my son was born, and I was looking for just some other route to earn money, basically. It was pretty much monetarily driven at first, um, and I picked up a course on Udemy, like half the other rest of the world. It was one of those not bootstrap, boot camp style courses where it has everything. And yeah, I just kind of went from there. But I kind of bounced around languages and things. I've done some Java, I've done Ruby. Currently uh, doing PHP. So yeah, I've just kind of moved around, kind of tried out everything, uh, as the new shinies appeared.
Ah,
Um, but actually, one of the things I was gonna mention is because you're in an environment where you don't have a lot of resources, whether it's electricity or that sort of thing. I think the critical thinking skills and teaching problem solving and things like that is definitely a bonus. Um, but I think that maybe focusing as far as the coding goes, maybe focusing when you get to that point anyway on something that is already established. Okay, like for instance, Java. Java, because it's I wouldn't call it a corporate language, but they have long term support versions. So Java itself might be up to version 17 or 18 or whatever it's on now. I'm not sure. But the versions that are being used in business are still only versions 8 and versions 11. That's it, for the most part. The vast majority of jobs and things like that are on those two older versions. 8, I don't recall when it came out, but I'm pretty sure it was somewhere back in the early 2000s. Um, so I mean, it's like that might be a an idea for focusing on learning, is maybe switching to something that's a really, I guess I'll call it old, but I don't mean it in a way that you guys should go and learn a bunch of ancient technology. But in because you're in an environment where you don't have a lot of electricity or a lot of internet, you might want to try focusing on something that doesn't require a lot of internet, like the web.
So you mean
It's just an
Java doesn't
idea.
require internet? Like as in like requires less internet? You're giving better advice than me. I was going to advise them on some Python framework for mobile apps or whatever. But what do you mean exactly? Java requires less
I mean,
internet. That's
it
interesting.
it's. I mean, you okay? So you can you could get the what is it called? You could get the documentation on paper if you had to. Um, and
Ah, okay.
and it doesn't. You know, web technology changes all the time, and you pretty much require a standard internet connection to do anything with the web because you got to update things and you got to although you can develop on a local server, but even so, um, most of uh, the documentation and things like that is all on the web. I mean, yes, you could download most documentation, but you wouldn't have to worry about keeping up with when you're only focused on version 8 of Java or version 11 of Java. They're pretty much set at this point. Um, you wouldn't have to worry about stuff changing out from under you or having to keep up because your framework changed and broke a bunch of stuff. For instance,
Okay.
Python.
Yeah.
And Python's great. It's a easy to learn language, but all of they broke everything when they built 3.0, and so they had two versions, 2.7 and 3.0.
Oh yeah, I broke.
Yeah, so
I felt broken myself. Yeah, I thought I
instead
didn't
of
learn anything.
yeah, instead of making it backwards compatible like the rest of pretty much every other language, they decided to break it. And then they tried to force everybody to use 3.0 because they didn't want to support 2.7 anymore. Really, I think, in my personal opinion, a very bad decision. And it's still kind of fragmented where some people are still using 2.7 while most have finally migrated, but it took a bunch of years. I don't remember when 3.0 released. um Actually, I might Google it real quick, because I
So
have
let me
internet.
understand your
Go
advice.
ahead.
For people with limited resources, maybe print the documentation of an established language like Java and start reading the documentation. So when you get back to it online, you will not find it that a lot of changes have been made. Plus,
Right.
Java is used in a lot of companies. That's your advice, right?
Yeah, I think that might be a better way to go, as far
Okay.
as like maybe when kids get a little older. And uh there is some stuff out there to teach Java. um there's a program called Greenfoot, which kind of teaches it visually. um there's and I'll do maybe a little more digging and see what I can find as far as that goes. But that, as an idea, that might be an idea where you could, I guess the downside would be, I'm trying to think. I mean, you could do Java on a Chromebook if you had converted the Chromebooks over to Linux. You could, I'm just kind of brainstorming. Um, and then if you had like paper documentation, you'd at least be able to look things up easier, because you're not going to be able to just sit and Google stuff like the rest of the world at this point. You just don't have that kind of resources. So everything you have to do has to be either offline, um, book related. Which, in the old days when we learned to program, that's how we learned. We learned from a book. We didn't have any ways to look stuff up on the web. You pretty much had to sit and try to debug your code and look up the documentation on paper.
Oh,
Um,
okay. So I'll ask Leonard what he thinks about that, because if you keep
Shoot.
talking, like I think he's gonna fire me as a volunteer, and he's gonna
Oh.
maybe he's gonna regret like appreciating my progressive approach, you know? So
No, go ahead. Tell him to unmute, or if you can
yeah,
hear me,
Leonard,
Leonard.
unmute, but
Leonard,
please don't
unmute.
fire me as a volunteer if I'm too progressive, technologically speaking. But yeah, so,
Yeah, the, the, the,
There
the,
you
the
go.
the convo is so informative. yeah, it's informative. Yeah, we have a lot to learn from the conversation, because we need like ideas that we can implement even in the future. But currently, we need the Chromebooks so that we can
Hmm.
do. Yeah, we need technology so that we can always move gradually. We can have the Chromebooks and then we figure out the internet, we figure out electricity, mostly
Yeah, yeah.
technology, the storage space, the learning space, and then we can figure out the rest. Yeah. So
But
currently,
printing,
yeah,
Oh,
because printing of the resources, we need the printers, we need the Chromebooks, we need the learning space. Those are some of the biggest challenge that we have.
the
But
other thing
currently, yes, please.
I was gonna say, the other thing too is you could load um, documentation on USB drives, um, and maybe pull it from that. If printing isn't an option, it might be easy to.
Okay, okay. Something that I didn't mention, like, I'm teaching kids between the age of 6 to 14, which the
6 to 14.
majority
Okay.
6 to 14 years. The majority
Okay,
is
gotcha.
6 to 12 years, and
Okay,
then
okay.
yeah, and then currently what we have the tablets, which it's a
Right.
solution. It's a
Uh huh.
solution based on the electricity situation in the Kibera, where I
Right.
charge the tablets at my place, and then I
Yep.
move with them in my backpack. They are quite heavy.
Yeah.
Those are the reasons that currently we need, like, it's heavy, and the insecurity and stuff. I can't be that sure.
Sure.
So that's the reason, like, why we need like a space where we can say this is our space. We can build the
Hmm.
cupboard. We can have the desks and the chair. We can have the projectors. Yeah, with that it's easier maybe to project maybe something so that they can do the writing. And
Right.
also the stationery, yeah, there's a lot that has to go on with that kind of arrangement. Yeah, the
So right
yeah, I
space,
now,
see
the
what you
desk,
mean.
the stationery. Yes.
so
So
right now you're kind of in a temporary spot.
yeah, yeah, I'm on a temporary space where we rent monthly, which
Okay,
that's
and
why
you're
you
looking to
find cost.
establish something more like a
Yes,
permanent base.
yeah, a permanent base, a place that we can call. We say, like, the space that we have. At some point, we share it with some church meetings, so we can't really store our tablets inside that room. Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
But
Um,
So
that space has been rented monthly thanks to some generous supporters. Like
exactly,
if we get 10 people to give us $10 each, we reach $100. With $100, that space that of course is temporary, but still it's rented for a month. So it takes $10 and you'll see these little developers flourish. But for now, I really like Andrew's advice of literally printing the documentation. Never thought about that myself.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we move gradually. When we have the technology, we can now think about something else. Then
so
it
what
can take, yes.
what kind of tablets are you using now? Did you say Amazon tablets?
Yeah, the Amazon tablets, the Fire tablets. We have Fire 7,
What
which
what made
HTTP
you
storage.
or how did you come by those?
Okay. From when I started doing this, I guess you've seen some of the pictures
I
teaching
have, yeah.
under a tree. Yeah. So during the COVID time when people were at home, I started moving with my laptop just to teach kids just on the playground how to code using Scratch Junior. So kids got interested, and parents asked me to keep their kids busy. So that's how I started teaching. So I used to go to a certain school, gather the kids under a tree, and then uh, I used to teach them. So the urge for them to learn pushed me to send random emails via the internet. So I just visited Code Monkey, Coder Kids, those other coding schools. They were also doing them offline. They were doing them online, the online classes during COVID-19. So one of the guys replied, he's currently the founder of Coder Kids. He's called James Thornock. He replied and asked me, "What do you want?" He thought I was one of the Nigerian conmen. spamming people all over. Yeah, it was. Yeah, he made it hard for me, but I didn't give up. I told him, take all your time. If you get convinced, maybe you can find a way of helping us. I just asked for, if they have used laptops, they can send it my way. There are kids here learning under a tree. We get rained on sometimes, but we survive. So that's how I met James Tonock. He created a fundraiser, and then the money that was raised, he bought 11 Amazon tablets and shipped to Kenya, and
Mm,
he paid for us a learning space for 3 months. That's how I got the Amazon tablets, and that was the first. That was the first donation that I got, which told me that I need to do this. I've never met James. We only speak once in a while on Discord. Yeah, so that's how I got the tablets. So what I do, I just charge them. I take them to class. I come back with them at home. When we have a class, I just charge them and go back. But the space is quite small, but it serves the purpose. But they need internet. There are some activities like Tinkercad. We can't do Tinker. We can't tinker on them. We can't do 3D modeling on them because of the touch, and the
right.
modeling is quite demanding. You need to zoom in. You
Yeah,
need to stretch. You need to do that. So the kids are finding it so hard. But it works best on
just
Codebella.
no,
They
just for the listeners
Yeah.
out there. Well, okay, Leonard is grateful for James, and everybody is okay. But it can be a bit intimidating hearing that James has been so generous, like donating tablets and donating this. You don't have to be a James, although it'd be nice if you are, but you don't have to be a James. You can also donate $10. Just so you guys know,
Exactly.
like so.
Every little
What,
bit
what,
helps in this
yeah,
situation.
exactly. What I always say is, I teach the kids for free, but when I break down maybe the monthly bills, I always say, like, if I have 30 kids and maybe somebody decides to sponsor even 2 kids at $10 per child. If somebody holds a kid's hand, like, I'm giving this $10 for Mark to learn coding every month. That would make like $30. I would pay the office. I'd start doing the storage devices, the storage. I might make like a table. I might buy like 2 chairs and all that. Yeah, so that's the breakdown. We don't need like to give us billions. We just need like somebody who can hold even a child's hand. I want Mark to learn coding this month. So if we get 30 people giving $10, that is $30. That's a month. Or even we can pay the 3 months rent. So that's all we are asking, just to keep the kids in class. Yeah, we are not asking for more, for much, that much. Yeah.
Yeah, although
Sure.
you can be James number two, that'd be great too. But you don't have to. That's. I think that's what Leonard's saying.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where we started. That's exactly what we are asking for at this point. But the kids have a lot of learning resources. We improvise without internet. Sometimes we even lack classroom. We do outdoor activities. We just go to the slum, take pictures with the tablet. We use them in our next class to do Scratch Junior. We can make a bird fly over the slum using Scratch, because it's very rare to see a butterfly in the slums. I've always asked that question on Twitter. Yeah, I've never seen even the birds over the slum. They don't fly. I guess it goes back to the climate change and all that. Yeah. So
What
Necessity
is
is the mother of invention. There you
yeah?
go.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
What is the weather like there?
Yeah. When it rains all over, but it gets muddy. It's all muddy. Yeah. It's mud. There are no roads. There's no road network, so it's all muddy. The houses are muddy. We might find like a few houses which are built on blocks and all that. Mostly are churches.
Hmm.
Some of them are other organizations or public toilets that are built by other small self-help groups which are making money through the toilets. Yeah, you go there, you pay 10 shillings, you go to the toilet, and then you go back to your place. So you find like a set as a place. The people are staying in plots. You can a plot has like 20 houses, and then you rent a public toilet. So at night, okay, it's not like it's not a joke, like, but at night you need to like go to the toilet early because those people are not working overnight. So, so when you get pressed at night, okay, it's you find your
But you
way.
see, yeah, this thing you're saying, as
Yeah,
like that's actually one of the reason why I was conflicted at first. I was like, should I get involved with this, start doing the social media, start helping? There's actually one of the reason why I was conflicted, because I mean they don't even have toilets, it's muddy, and I'm like, he's teaching kids to
yeah,
code. I'm like, is he crazy? Right? That's like they don't even
yeah,
have toilet. But then I'm like they deserve more than a toilet. That's what I thought, they deserve more than a
yeah,
toilet. So I'm like, I'm gonna
yeah.
join him, you know, even from
Exactly.
Italy, I'm gonna join him.
Exactly. That's what I thought. I was like, okay, now organizations come, they build toilets. Organization comes, they
Sure.
bring food stuff. Organization comes, they bring. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm from the slum. What made me go to school? What made me be who I am is education. I learned basic IT skills. I went to college, advanced, and then most of these things I are self-taught. So I'm like, okay, now I think these kids so that they can forge their future ahead. I just wanted to ignite their passion in technology. That's why we have game development, we have uh, the Tinkercad 3D modeling, we have the coding with Crash Junior that
Yeah.
will, once they learn sequencing, basic debugging, and all that, they can choose their path. But at least they have a direction that will make
So
them make a future for themselves or for their parents or for the entire slum. Yeah,
yeah, I mean that's kind of the key point. Really, is you're basically trying to develop children and kind of give them a maybe not necessarily a way out. Maybe some of them will come back and help later, but you're at least trying to give them a future.
yeah. Sometimes in the slum, it reaches a point where you just need to help yourself. That's what
Right.
I did. I lost my parents very early when I just finished my high school, and I was left in the slum. My brothers didn't have my elder brother didn't have a job. He was the only person who could take care of us. He was working as a security guard in Toyota Kenya. He was getting paid like we couldn't even survive with whatever he was getting paid. So yeah, you just have to take care of yourself because it's very easy getting into crime. It's very easy getting into drugs because they're being sold just behind next door. Somebody's selling drugs just next door. So it's not something you're going to look for. It's there.
Right.
Sometimes you
So
are there,
I
you've not
You don't have
eaten,
to go
you're
out of your way to
hungry,
find it.
and all of that.
I
Yes.
guess a lot of
So
people can learn from Leonard, from what he's saying, because I don't think this is just a Nairobi problem. I don't mean the mud, I mean the drugs, the crime. So I think
exactly.
a lot of people can learn from from what Leonard's saying, and if they want to get in touch, see how he does it to create something similar anywhere with similar problems.
Exactly.
Y-
So that's the point. It's a lot of it's solving a lot of things. Yeah. So there's a time I never told Costa this. I had some kids in my class who robbed me. They just get into my bag and robbed me some money, and I didn't chase them. They just came back. I was like, okay, now I have to be careful. But they are still in my class. They are one of the best kids in my class. So what I needed is like I won't chase them away because these are habits maybe they got from their neighborhood. So I just want to nurture them to be good people. Yeah. Now they're the ones who bring girls to my class. I send them. I need your sisters in this class. This coding is not only for girls, or IT is not only for girls. I know it's a stereotype in the slums where, oh, what do you teach? I teach IT. Okay, get my boy. The girls remain in the houses to take care of the kids. And I tell them, no, just get me the
See,
girl with the kid. I'll
it's not just
just,
an American problem.
it's,
Exactly.
I
So
never
that's why I'm
thought it's a
saying people
problem
should
back
learn
there.
from all this.
Yeah, so that's the stereotype. IT technical jobs are for boys. No, we need girls in mechanics. We need girls in
Yeah.
Like,
engineering. We need
yeah, I
girls
mean,
in data
look,
science.
Leonard,
Yes.
I made the website for the charity, right? I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, like they should take you as an example to eradicating these problems. We just are not just Kenyan, not just American, not just Italian. Honestly, people still don't believe me that I made the website. So it's like a guy
Exactly.
helped you do it. So you know,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You
Exactly.
did a good job, by the way. It looks
Yeah.
really good.
I mean, I did it. Whether it was good or bad, I did it. I want people to know that. Whether
Yeah.
it's good or bad, I don't know that. But you know,
I always ask. I always ask Costa, where did she learn all this? She tells me she's just curious.
no,
She
She
from
has a
found
guys. I
5G
learned it
yeah.
from
tower over her
guys
head.
on YouTube. I did learn
Yeah.
it from guys, not from women. so,
Yeah, she gets it done.
so,
So, and that's some of the image that we want to show the girls in the slum. That this Costa, she's the one who has given me a lot of encouragement to do
oh,
all
you
this.
want them to
I
help
always,
me as an example?
I always tell her she found me when I was giving up. I was giving up when Costa came. I was like, okay, now I need to fetch food for my family. In fact, my wife told me that it's now time to go get some job, some real job. Yeah. So I had to like do some part-time classes in schools. You get like a week, you get like a month, you get like 2 months just to stay afloat.
Don't worry,
So
Leonard. I have a real job too. It's okay. so, you know.
yeah, she gave me a lot of hope, and then that's where the website was born. The website came up. I found another place. She helped me pay it for a few months. Then now she created
Yeah,
like
but
a
now that's
family.
it. Because I mean, I'm no Elon Musk, guys. So you know,
Exactly. So
somebody,
we are
somebody help me.
struggling. Yeah.
so,
You see, she's pushing that thing on coffee so that people can like give us some money just to get the monthly rent.
how
The
how
technology and
how
all
well does
that.
that work actually? That the coffee. The
Yeah,
I
oh,
mean,
coffee.
it's
talking
working.
about coffee is making me thirsty. But, but is as a donation platform, how well is it working?
Also talking about people that want to take example from Leonard and myself, setting this up for themselves in other so-called dangerous areas, you mean, and set up a donation page. It works. You know why? Because every single other one I checked takes a percentage. Buy Me a Coffee takes a percentage. Patreon takes a percentage.
Hmm.
You know, Ko-Fi doesn't. They're the only one who
Oh,
stay true to their mission. They're not paying me to say this, by the way. I'm not getting paid to say any of the things I've been saying. so
Yeah. In fact, we are running. We are talking about internet, but the non-profit it's running purely on tech. Like we've done a lot of technology. We've done a lot of things through technology. We have Notion. We are on Notion. Our curriculum is on Notion. That's how we network with Costa.
Yeah,
So
that's where all the
it's
cool kids are. On Tech
yeah.
Twitter too, everybody's on Notion, right? So
But we are on Notion. We are on GitHub. We are on Coffee. We are on Todoist. Like yeah. So it's very possible in the middle of the one of the biggest slum in the world with no internet, and we've taken advantage of the tech. Like the little data that we have, we capitalize on that, and then the kids learn. We get some little money on coffee to make the kids learn in the slum. So it's anybody who's running like a non-profit or a startup, they can take notes. All those can help you like try to make anything work on your side. So it's a learning podcast. It's happening in one of the most remote places in the world, and we are doing it. Yeah. So all we need is like people to hold our hands so that we can move to the next level.
yeah, I mean, so basically, you want to learn how to do things for real in real life, implementing such kind of program as a nonprofit, as a coding, go to Leo. You want to know how to do it. You want to know how to stay home in front of the computer and tell other people how to do it? Come to
And
me.
and and
so,
and and and, and also in Kenya, Kenya has PesaPal. We just did that the other day. Yeah, we hope that works too for us. The PesaPal
yeah,
platform.
actually, about that, maybe Andrew, you want to cut this or something, but I'll explain later.
Sure, go ahead.
Actually,
No
Leonard, I
worries.
made a big mistake. No, nothing worrying. You're fine. Your life will go on. But, you know,
Yeah, just for learning purposes. I just mentioned it for learning purpose. People can borrow
oh, right. Okay,
the
okay.
model from
Okay.
us. Yeah, people can borrow the model from us. But we're on the ground. The kids are learning. That's all that matters. We just need people to hold our hands to make things better for us. Yeah, we've reached a point where like we need a lot of help. Like, yeah, we need a lot of
So
help.
back to what the kids are learning on the tablets. So you've got some programs installed on there. Did you say Scratch Junior? Was that one of them?
Yeah, exactly. Scratch Junior. Scratch Junior is an app, but we have the
Yep.
Scratch. Scratch Junior is for junior, and then Scratch is more of
Yeah.
the older kids, maybe from 8 years to 13.
Hmm.
Scratch is for like you can Scratch is for like from 2 years. You can a 2 year child can figure out Scratch because you give
Okay.
these kids your phone without even telling them the pattern. You find them, they've just unlocked your phone and they have downloaded what they want. Not even like they figure out they download.
Yeah.
So a 2 year old kid can figure out Scratch. 2 years to 6 years. Then from 7 years to 13, they can do Scratch. That is Scratch Junior. And then the older kids can do Scratch. That's the main program. That's block
Right.
based. And then from there, we they can start learning how to do simple things on HTML and maybe Python. But on the tablets, we have Scratch Junior, and then we have
Hmm.
Code Bella. Code Bella is
Oh,
from Blue
yeah. Honorable
Studios.
mention.
Yeah, maybe we'll
Amazing
tag
stuff.
them.
What
Yeah, we'll tag
what
them. It's one of the most favorite apps
what
for the
is the
kid for
other
the
thing?
kid.
What is it called?
Blue. That's the Code Bella. Code Bella.
Like beautiful code. Code Bella.
Yes, Code
Okay.
Bella
Cool.
from Blue Studios. You can
Blue
search Blue Studios
Studios. Okay.
on Twitter. Yeah,
I'm
that's one of
checking
the
that out now.
favorite. Yeah, and then we did Tinkercad. We did
Now,
Tinkercad, which is not quite friendly with the tablets. That's why we need the laptops or Chromebooks. And then we
Yeah,
have
this
but another honorable mention. I really want to take this occasion to thank Badisha Binyesh. She's an award-winning entrepreneurial kid. I'll just send you the link. You'll check her out on LinkedIn. But I really want to thank her because yes, we have our difficulties with Tinkercad, but she made an amazing instructional video on how to create a rocket on Tinkercad. Unfortunately, the kids in Kibera can't really do it because of the limitations we described. But just so you know, like a kid made video for other kids on how to use Tinkercad. That's amazing, right?
yeah, but they
that's
loved
awesome.
Tinkercad. They loved it. The only challenge was just creating blocks. They loved how to draw and create rockets and do all that. The problem was the limitations with the touch and all that. But it's something they would love to make a lot of ideas using Tinkercad if they have laptops or Chromebooks. It's something that I'd love maybe them to achieve. Yeah,
Yeah, you're nurturing some little Elon Musks there. They're making rockets already. Yeah, good job, Leonard.
exactly. Thank you too for coming through. And also Tinkercad, something that we loved about it is where you can create like a classroom where the kids join. They join, and then whatever they do, you can always go back and see where they were struggling. It's a
Ah,
very good learning
yeah.
model. Yes, it's very good. It's a very good learning model which I'd love like to see how I can implement that in other programs. So after a class,
Yeah, yeah.
as you create a classroom, and then you can always assess all the kids, and then you can just see who is struggling, and then you just go to them. Yes.
So
So that is yes.
if someone were to ship something to you, whether it's computers or USB drives or whatever, I've never shipped anything to Kenya, so I'm not aware of like costs related to that or where even you would send it. You said you sorry,
Yeah.
I'll wait
Okay.
for the background noise. Okay.
You,
You don't live in the slum. You go there, is that right?
I live in Kibera, but
Which is
I'm not
outside.
right in the slum. Yes, the slum is
Okay.
where I grew up, but our program is in the slum.
So you have an address that can be shipped to, or how does that work? Where in
Yeah,
Kenya?
yeah, exactly. The tablets were shipped to Kibera using a shipping agent, Kentex Cargo. You
Mm,
can check them on Twitter. Kentex Cargo. I think I have a US address.
okay.
Kentex.
Yeah, there you go. Kentex. Okay.
Yeah. So you're in the US, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where the tablets were shipped via Kentex Cargo. So just following up, they'll ask you for an address, and then I'll give you my address, and then they can figure it out from there. It takes a little longer, but it was worth it.
But I think like monetary donation, I mean, as brutal
Mhm.
as that sound, I think
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
just
Probably
easier.
the
If
probably
yeah,
easiest.
if
Yeah.
people are concerned where their money is going, well, we spent like 50 minutes talking about it, so hopefully they're not concerned anymore, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, basically school stuff, um some kind of room that you're required to teach in, um Chromebooks at some point if possible.
Y-
Um
Yeah, Chromebooks, if we accept, if can be shipped, fine. If you can buy them from this side, fine.
yeah.
Then mostly we need the desk, the classroom, the technology.
Yeah, cuz you guys don't even have like a setup. Like you're
Yeah,
basically building a school is
exactly.
basically
Yeah,
what
we
you're
don't.
doing. Now,
Yeah.
are you having, I don't know what the schooling is like there, but do they have standard schools, or are you having to fill in and teach math and writing and all that kind of stuff too? Is
Yeah. Pardon. Yeah, pardon. I didn't get that right.
Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't hear me.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I didn't get that. Just pardon,
Okay.
maybe.
Um. Yeah, I was asking, is there regular schools there, or are you having to fill in and teach things like math and writing and that
Oh,
sort of thing too?
yeah, yeah. Okay. I didn't mention this is an after-school program where the
Okay.
kids
Okay.
join after school. Yeah. So what we do, we
Okay.
just teach tech. Yeah, we teach
Oh,
technology.
okay. All
It's
right.
STEM based. We engineering, math, but it's tech.
So, do they have a regular school building there?
Yeah, we have schools within the slums, but the slum schools are informal schools.
Oh, okay. All right. So
Yeah,
it's
the
pretty
slum
much
schools
all
are informal.
informal at this point. Okay. That
Okay.
makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, NGOs open schools, basically.
NGOs
Yeah.
and churches, most of them are church-based schools.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was just trying to understand the situation um as far as the kids like regular education, um because that's an even bigger undertaking if you're having to take on, teaching them reading, writing and arithmetic on top of tech. Tech is hard enough for one person.
But I
Any
mean, I know like they go together most of the time. Yeah, you're right. But like sometimes, especially with the block-based coding, like they go by intuition, and that works sometimes too. You know.
Sure, yeah, definitely. Um I guess, okay, so the biggest thing is going to be um essentially funding. You guys need funding. You need some sort of help, whether it's monetary or otherwise, to help facilitate this better.
And volunteers.
And
Like, can
volunteers.
somebody please help me out? Like, maybe some guy, maybe a man that doesn't think I can do it technologically, so he can take on the work. You know. And
Hey now.
so if somebody wants to help me out, please.
No man bashing.
No, I need help actually. Like honestly, I do. And Andrew, no, actually, jokes aside, if I can mention here, Andrew has
Yeah.
already been very helpful into giving me technological advice for the websites and all of that. So yeah.
All right, so
Yeah,
we'll go. Oh, go ahead. You guys have anything else to add?
yeah, exactly. We created there's something we created where we mentioned we need like ambassadors, we need volunteers. We need people who can help us via tech and all that. So ambassadors, we need people who can tell our stories out there. People who can convince their friends to give us $10 monthly, so that we can, like, it's just like a contribution to keep us afloat. That's all we need. Like, people can't give millions of money, but if we have a lot of people coming together to support the initiative, that's what we mean by ambassadors. You can have like Andrew recruiting like 5 people, convincing them, like, to, if they have, if they can, if you're having like, maybe if you drink, you're having like 4 beers, you can spare a beer for Watoto Coding.
Well, okay,
Yeah,
hold on,
exactly.
Leonard. I don't
Exactly.
even drink beer. Hold on,
Yeah,
Leonard. I
no,
don't drink beer, and I eat salads, so
yeah, I know.
I didn't give up any
It's
beer for
important.
you. No,
It's good. It's good to wind out sometimes. Yeah.
but no, but actually, no, but like Leonard is talking about convincing your friends, which is true, it seems natural. But hey, I haven't managed to convince any of my friends yet. Even if you want to
Yeah.
convince random people on the internet, that's fine as well.
Yeah, on a light note, yeah, the people who drink beer are very generous. Yeah,
Yep, I mean, convince random people if you want to. I haven't convinced my friends yet. I don't know if it's me or what, but you know.
uh, yeah, maybe keep going. Just
I
a
mean,
friend is enough. Just getting a friend to come on board is enough. Yeah.
I've had some random internet people help me out, so uh, I'm
Oh,
sure
there
there's
you
people
go.
out there that wouldn't mind, helping out even a little bit. So I'm gonna guess that the coffee. Oh, that was the other thing I meant to ask you. That is a like how hard is it to transfer funds from coffee to wherever it needs to go?
Oh, I mean, it's not hard. It's hard to find the solution. So what happens is, I mean, if you guys really want to know the inside outs, it's fine. Like I'm not Facebook that I'm disclosing some personal company data, like it just
Sure,
goes to my
yeah.
Stripe. It just goes to my Stripe, and then using a Zimo, I send it to the charity's bank account. That's it.
Okay, and so it's just a kind of an extra step then. Does it
It's yeah,
does
the
it
fee doing that is $1.30.
it's wait, the fee for that is what?
$1.30. $1 for the Azimo and 30 cents for Stripe.
Okay. So, but you can send whatever is there. Like you're not losing a ton of money shifting it
For
around
each transfer. For each transfer.
for each transfer, right? Okay. All right.
Because
So,
I mean, I need to get it to the charity's bank account.
yeah, yeah.
That's what we're doing at the moment. Yeah, because that's another
Right.
problem in Kenya. Like they don't have the standard
Mhm.
payment system, Stripe, whatever. Yeah. So, but you're helping us with that. So,
Yeah. So just to end this, okay, I welcome anybody. If you're in Kenya, look for Watoto Coding. We are on Twitter. We are everywhere. We are so big on social media. Uh, the Kenyans think that I've made it.
Okay, Costanza, you need to tell me how to pronounce that.
like what?
The uh, the name of the
Oh, like I know. So,
is it Watutu coding?
oh, I don't know. I say
Am I saying that
Watoto,
right?
but I don't know if it's correct.
Watoto,
Watoto,
Watutu,
I don't know.
Yes, Watoto is kids,
Oh, I got it right.
Kiswahili.
Watoto. Okay.
Yes, Watoto,
Oh,
children.
okay.
What
My
children?
friend, I have a friend that every time he picks a character name in a game, it's always Swahili for something. So
I know he might have said Simba. Is Simba part of Simba is lion?
Oh,
that's
so
awesome.
WatotoCoding.com. So
All right.
WATOTO coding.com. WatotoCoding.com. I'm gonna say it a few times because sometimes maybe
I
people are
like that.
having a coffee, they go to the toilet and they don't hear the podcast. Like, so if you're coming back to the room where your phone was, where you were listening to the podcast, WatotoCoding.com.
All right, you guys heard it. WatotoCoding.com.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Andrew.
Thanks,
And
guys. Thanks
follow
for
us.
coming on.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter.